What's up, YouTube? I'm here to do my recap of UFC 186. Let's start at the bottom. Ronda Marcos versus Aisling Daily. This fight was really good. It was really back and forth. I thought it was 1-1 going into the third. I think Aisling Daily just rushed too much stuff and gave up positions that she probably would have gotten if she was just more patient. So good win for Ronda Marcos, but I still think Ronda needs a lot of work because I honestly think if Aisling was just more patient, she would have won that fight. It's just she was trying to force takedowns and gave up positions that she probably could have gotten. So good 29-28 decision for Ronda Marcos. Next was Lavere versus Jessica Rakoczy, and Rakoczy was just no match for Jessica. Jessica was no match for Lavere though. It was just a one-sided kickboxing match the whole fight. Next was Norman Tibble versus Chris Clements, and this was just a one-sided wrestling match, basically. Tibble was a lot bigger, and these first three fights I thought were all kind of boring. The Aisling Daily one was okay. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was okay. And then this Tibble fight was just really one-sided wrestling match. Chris Clements had a hard time getting up, and when he did get up, Tibble would just take him back down again. Next was Olivier Mercier versus David Mushad. And the first round, Olivier got pretty much controlled David the whole round. The second round, they both dropped each other once. David landed a nice uppercut and dropped Olivier, and Olivier landed a nice body kick and dropped David. Then going into the third, Olivier took David's back pretty early and had his back for like a minute, maybe two, and finally got the rear naked choke win. So good win for Olivier. Next was Chad Laprise versus Brian. Brian. And I thought Chad won the first, I thought Brian won the second, and I thought Brian won the third, and I thought the second could have went either way. And when you get a close round like that, it's obviously going to go to the guy in the home country. So, had this fight happened somewhere else, maybe Brian would have won. But I didn't think it was, I thought it was pretty close. I thought the second round really could have went either way. So, good win for Chad, all 29-28. Next was Alexis Davis versus Sarah Kaufman, and Sarah Kaufman was dominating in the striking, and then the second round she tried to take Alexis Davis down, which made no sense to me. It's obvious who had the much better grappling. And like I said before, women can't defend arm bars. Sarah Kaufman gets caught in an arm bar and gets submitted like that. Next was Patrick Cote versus Joe Riggs, and I thought Patrick won the first round, and then the second and the third could have went either way. And like I said, when you get close rounds like that, they're probably going to go to the guy in the hometown. So Patrick Cote won 29-28 on all three cards, and Joe Riggs was pissed, but like I said, I didn't think he did a whole lot. In all honesty, if I had to give Patrick another round, I would have said that this was the third. So I think it didn't matter where it was. This fight wasn't like the Chad Laprise fight where I could have definitely seen it going to Brian. I thought Patrick Cote clearly won this fight 2-1. Even though they were close, I would still lean towards Patrick in this one. Next was Thomas Almeida versus Yves Jabouin, and Thomas, it was a good back and forth striking match, but then Thomas eventually caught Yves and was able to win by TKO. Next was John Makdessi versus Shane Campbell, and this was a lot like the other fight, between Yves and Thomas. And the first 3 minutes, the fight was super close back and forth, but then the last minute or two, John Makdessi started lighting up Shane Campbell and won by TKO with 6 or 7 seconds left in the round. So good TKO win for John Makdessi. Next was Michael Bisping versus CB Dollaway, and CB looked really good in the first. He even dropped Michael, but then the second to the third he just got outworked. It was a pretty good fight, but once again, not the greatest fight. I wouldn't give any of these. I would give away 4 performance bonuses. I would give Thomas Almeida, John Makdessi, Alexis Davis, and Olivier Mercier the performance bonuses. There was no amazing fight on this card. Next was Quinton Jackson versus Fabio Maldonado, and I thought Quinton won the first pretty easily. The second one could have went either way, and then the third, Maldonado just stopped being offensive really, and Quinton just it was kind of like the first, except for they were both a little bit more tired. So I thought Quinton, at least won 29-28, and I know 2 of the judges gave it 30-27. So good win for Quinton Rampage Jackson. It wasn't the greatest fight ever, but I don't blame him. If you guys didn't know, he almost didn't even get to fight. He was in this lawsuit, and there's a good chance where you know, they pretty much said a week before the fight that he wasn't fighting, and then like 3 days before that they said he was. So you can't blame either of these guys for not putting on the greatest performance. You know what I mean? But good one for Rampage. Next was Johnson versus Horiguchi, and this fight was boring as hell. I didn't even watch the end. After the 4th round, I just stopped watching because I was just so fucking bored. I mean, Demetrious Johnson is just the most boring fighter I've ever seen. He's even worse than GSP. I didn't even think that was possible. I mean, he just is. He's boring. He is boring to watch. I don't know what it is. It's just watching this guy wrestle and not do pretty much anything but wrestle. It was boring. It's just, like, it's mind-numbingly boring. I just knew who'd won by that point, you know what I mean? I don't know if he got a finish, but he won the first 4 rounds, and, you know, Horiguchi, he looked good. It's just, you know what I mean? I can't blame Demetrious Johnson for being a good wrestler that doesn't get tired, but I can blame him for being boring as shit. So, I know he wins. I don't need to see it to know he wins. I'm going to put my prediction video up for Miocic versus Hunt when it gets a little bit closer, just in case of injuries and stuff like that. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.